Sometimes there's a first time for everything. Sometimes there's other first times for other things, and that's fantastic. My name is Curtis. Morning, everybody. This is me slouching out of the way of the microphone. So it's not going to sound good. It's fine. It's okay. We still have an audience member. I didn't lose her completely from last week. She not only still exists and does exist the whole time, but she came back. And if the internet holds up, that will be sublime. Rhymes. Everything's fine. I've been having a great day and also a crazy day and an exhausting day and a terrible day, but you take the good, you take the bad. And I think Alan Thicke wrote that song. You got the facts of life. The facts of life. So I will keep forgetting that this isn't a camera over here. That's a person, and she's not recording anything. So sometimes that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen. She's waving, and let's see if I have another dinosaur that I can make come in to the side of the screen for her. There's bound to be lots of dinosaurs in my computer. When I said Triceratops, I had no idea. Oh, cool. I've got a skeleton Triceratops from a video game I made. Into the show he goes. So many dumb things. And here it goes. Today's topic is just stories. How about that? Just stories. Because when Mike White comes to town, it becomes story time. This feels really weird looking way over here when there's definitely a person over here and I'm full blown looking away. But Mike White, I've talked about several times. There's a Mike White episode, like 20, let's say 7 or 28, of what is a Mike White and why does he exist? How does he affect my life and why does he keep doing so? Because, yes, he likes to see me suffer, but not in the way where it's like, I want to see you suffer. I take pleasure in your pain. It's the worse your day is, the better your story is, and I want to hear that story. And it's like, and I get it, Mike, I get it. And he does watch this show, and there is, like I said, there's a few people that I'm specifically talking to when I do this show. I'm not just talking to myself, even though I find it very hard to look away from myself when I'm talking to myself. But there's an Isabel, there's a Terry Clemier. I think Nick is still listening. There's a Mike White, and a handful of other people that if you want me to say your name, you're going to have to tell it to me. And if I know your name already, but I'm not sure you're listening or watching, hearing, feeling this, eating this for breakfast, then I just don't know. I don't know. But when Mike comes to town, I usually do get to a point where I'm like, I'm pretty exhausted now. Like, we just worked, and when Mike's around, we joke around even more, but yet still work even harder somehow and talk at the same time, which I'm not necessarily that good at, but me and Mike have spent so much time working together for 100 years that that's just how we do things. And sadly, there's other people in the room and they have to deal with this and they don't understand half of the things we're talking about because they're all reference points. And regardless, whatever, we have fun. That's why the studio exists. The reason it is there is so that I can entertain Mike. It's so that I can afford the time to do these shows. Mike used to drive to our old job listening to the podcast that me and Mike would do the night before on his way to work and then re-listen on the way home so that he go, oh, I missed a few things. I have some questions for you. For me? We already did a show about this, Mike. Doesn't matter. This is just the ongoing, never-ending need for knowledge from Mike White, and it's amazing, it's endearing, and it's fun because Mike used to live in this world where he seemingly didn't know anything at all, and he would ask me why and how, and then I would tell him a weird story that may or may not have been the why or the how, but it's still fun. And also, he doesn't watch a lot of TV shows. Instead, expects me to just tell him about that show because it's funnier that way. Like, all right, cool. Uh, I'm not going to sit down and line them up and figure it out, but I just roll into these things sometimes. Then he'll go watch that show, and it's just like, not the same, not the same. No, because I also gave you my dissertation on what I was thinking about that show and how it would affect the life of a Mike White or whoever the person is specifically in my audience, because that's what I do. And whatever, because it's fun. You turn things into stories. Um, or you don't. I don't know. I do know a lot of people, again, in the world of like meeting people on Plenty of Fish or who are in the process of using Plenty of Fish or any of those dating sites and finding out that people don't have stories. They don't have thoughts. They can barely read. They have nothing to say other than, hey, what's up? How's it going? Huh? Having a good night? How was your night? Fine. And your night? That's all I had. Sorry. Click. Like, what? Here's my wiener. Like, I don't know. Like, people are crazy. They're crazy. They're crazy. Meanwhile, I'm over here turning everything into a story, like everything. And we've covered this before, like going to the grocery store to get some bread, and it becomes a Lord of the Rings epic trilogy of all the different things that happened before, during, and out of my peripherals in the background, and that's just fun. And feel free to laugh. It's okay if you're having a good time. I don't know how well the mic will pick you up, but you can go crazy if you want. Um, I'm not against people laughing if funny things are happening. So again, in the interest of the stories and the laughing and the pain, I last night went to this. I'm gonna call it a therapy seminar, but I've talked about him on the show. Sean Smith, he's working in neurodiversity, I believe it was called, where it's like, oh, some people they just think different, they're a little different, and everything's cool. And I'm kind of different, so let's go talk. Let's go see what this is all about. I expect you'll be at a podium. I'll be way back here, not at all talking. It's cool. Hey, Curtis is way back there. No reason for him to say anything. He's here to listen for once. Everything's fine. He'll do his show when he gets home, and he won't be all talked out. Instead, they sat us around a little table with like 6 people. Still so far so good. I can listen in this environment. And then the guy sat next to me. And I've talked to him before, so it's like, oh, the door has been opened. I can kind of take over, and he might be aware of that. I shouldn't do that, but it's gonna happen. I'll be good. I'll be good. I'll be fine. And I sit there and, on my hands and figure out something and wrap myself up in a little ball and just listen. And these stories are great and they're fantastic. But then people start asking questions and things get brought up where it's just like, I have a story for that. But you guys, let's hear your stories for once. Let's not. This is not the Curtis show. It doesn't need to happen. Everything's fine. We donated food to be here, and somebody's going to benefit. Everything's great. And then he specifically started talking about something that I can't remember now what it was just so insanely specific, and what I was doing at the time, where it's like sometimes you do have to kind of sit in your hands and be quiet, even though you want to ask a question or there's something that you feel you need to put out there. And it's just like, I'm doing that right now. I have so many things to say. But, it's fine. And then somehow the floor did just kind of open up, and it's like, well, floodgates, here we go. I'm just going to start talking about things. And then I did. I just started telling stories, and it was magical. And then go to work the next day, and Mike is in town from San Francisco, and it's, hey, Mike, guess what I did last night? I went to a thing where somebody tells stories. Guess who told the most stories? It was me. It was me. Surprise! I didn't stop. I didn't stop. I kept doing the thing. And then they were discussing that thing of like, sometimes you do, it's hard to pay attention. And I'm just like, yeah. Let me tell you my thing again. In classrooms when I was a kid, I thought, like, this is insane. The teacher's like, pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. And I was really good. Like, I obsessed over everything. I made sure you're saying memorize. I will learn to memorize. I will be the best. I will be the best. And no, I wasn't. I still got like 80s and 90s, which wasn't the best. There was always somebody better. So I'm still not good enough, even though I was actually doing super great and fine. That's what happens when you raise yourself on TV. You don't know how things really work. Again, not that my parents weren't doing a good job. I was just listening to TV over them. So I'm just like, well, have you been to a classroom? There's 7 million things on the wall. Like, and each one of those has a framing or a weird scalloped thing around the chalkboard, and then all the kids' artwork, and then real posters, and then, hey, how come that poster is good and that one's not great? What is that one all about? And they all seem to be somewhat pertinent information that I guess I should take in every day, or else why not take them down? Why would they be here all the time if I shouldn't be absorbing this information all the time, right? Regardless, you were saying something, teacher? Sorry. I was checking out this elephant over here on this poster and the line work and thinking, is that how I'm supposed to draw? How did they do that? Is that paint? Is that markers? I don't know enough. I'm just a dumb kid, but I know I want to make that thing. When are we going to learn about that poster over there? No, we're not. What? But the poster, it's like right there. I see it every day. It's my favorite thing in the classroom. No, that's just a poster on the room. Don't worry about that. Well, I'm way more interested in that poster than what you're talking about. When's art class? We're going to get to art class someday, right? And eventually we did, and I learned to, take in all the things and obsess over all the things and enjoy specific things and get rid of stuff I didn't want. And, now I have a show and I'm the greatest guy in the world. But no, like, so just saying all those things and getting them out there, but then it's just getting to the point where it's like, well, some of the people we deal with their diverse brains and this and that, how do we get through to them? How do we get them to remember things and learn things? And I was like, oh, I have that answer. I guess for me, it was you got to turn everything into a story. Like everything that's just, my dad or whoever it was, a teacher just said, if you're having trouble with it, figure out what the story is and make it mean something to you, even if it's numbers or uh, any kind of problem, English, whatever. And I'm like, oh, that that's kind of seems like cheating. Like that's so I'm just gonna make up my own thing so I can remember their thing. Yeah, and that's not cheating. Like, no, it's fine. Oh, okay. And I'm not saying that like I try at it, I don't work at it. It just happens now. And again, I had another English teacher, two English teachers. One that was, oh, you pay attention way better when you're not looking at me. Like, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm focused on your mustache and your hair and what you're dressed like. And again, the things on the wall and why you move the way you do. And that's an awesome pose. I should remember that later for drawing when I need a pose like that, because that's what they teach us over in art class. And he was like, cool. Well, if you're not looking around and you memorize everything that I'm saying, then you should be drawing. Thank you. You're the greatest teacher in the world. And then years later, another teacher added to that where it was just like, you don't need to know the answer. You don't have to have studied the book and know all the specifics and the dates and the thises and the that's. Like, this is grade 12. I needed to know that so many years before this. So many. What do I do then? What do I do then, Mrs. McCackern? Um, you just explain it to me. Hmm? Explain what? Whatever the thing is you need to explain to me to get me to understand the thing that you need me to understand. If you can do that, then you get the marks, you get the points. That's what this is about. You're just getting points for making me understand that you understand. I think I can do that. That makes sense to me. That makes total sense to me. So whatever reference points, as long as I know that you understand them, like we've both read Jurassic Park, Miss McCacker, and like, yeah, you gave me my first Michael Crichton book. Like, yeah, I can do this. Like I have, just like Lex, and the SGI system. This is SGI. I know this. I can unlock this system. And then I did. Like I just did. Like I stopped, I started doing that thing my dad says where it's just like it doesn't matter. Like if you can do it right, then do it right. If you know the answer, then do it that way and deal with the jerks later who are like, no, we know this is the right way. How come your right way hurts all the time or your right way ends up doing 5 wrong ways before you have to do 9 other right ways? And sometimes you jump ahead in your sentences, and that's okay. Neurodiversity. So whatever, like things just turn into giant stories. And real quick, speaking of stories, cartoons are like stories. We got to watch a cartoon because that's another thing that we do here. That's what I do here at the morning show. Hi, Isabel. Let's watch a cartoon. Are you kidding me? You totally said you were a professional. This is unbelievably unprofessional. Somebody owes me $10,000. Really? Get it here. Don't. That's not yours. And we're back. What? Yeah, that was quick. See, you at home don't know because you see a cartoon and things happen, and it seems like maybe I took a break. Maybe I finally got a drink of this water that I have sitting here every time that I never drink out of. But no, I go lever, and then I say, and we're back. And the person who gets to see this gets to see that you didn't take a break, you just kept going. What's wrong with you? I'm doing this for 20 minutes. It's already 11:30 at night, and I'm a go to bed at 11 type of person. So I still have to edit this thing. And when I say, hey Ripley, can you edit all this stuff out and fix it and make sure you're not cropped too short because I don't have time to wait for your videos to render? Um, there's there's no Ripley. There's no Ripley. Like that's still me. If I look over here and I'm like, hey Milo, what's up? And then he says something, I have to make him say that, and then I have to say it. That's why I didn't just say anything in a Milo voice right now, because then I have to do some more editing and animating. conducting nothing. So, back to Mike White. When Mike White is in town, I get a little bit scared. I get a little bit down, but I usually get happy and I don't ever frown. Sometimes I just rhyme, so buy that book. Here's a picture of that, and you can keep it on your Nook. Hey, I think you can actually. But your digital Nook or your physical Nook as a book. Stop it. The point is, what? Mike comes to town and I work all day and I work so crazy and he never goes away and I can't stop rhyming. Holy snaps. Usually it's like, now I want to take everybody out for a team dinner. Awesome. That's great. You're generous and you're a great person. Like, I mean, we can't thank you enough for all the things that you've done to make this thing exist. I mean, we got a Kayla now and she's fresh out of school. That doesn't happen. There is no rule. Stop it. But I already talked all day. I already said everything to Mike White. I said everything to the people in the studio. We had so many meetings and I'm just done. I'm done. I need a nap so bad. So bad. It's crazy. But we got the dinner and then that's still like 2 hours away. So what am I going to do till then? I'm going to talk to Isabel for 2 hours straight, right up until 5 seconds before I walk into seeing these guys, because I can't stop. Can't stop believing. You got to hold on to that feeling. You got to keep going. Why? Anyway, having a good day. That's why. Or I'm overtired and my head is exploding. That's probably more likely. So I sit down at the dinner. It's me, Mike, Kayla, still waiting for Craig Doritos and Clyde to show up. When they do finally show up, Clyde asks, "You haven't been waiting here long?" And Mike answers in the best time frame possible, "Oh no, we've only been here for one Curtis anecdote." And I'm in the process of saying, "We've only been here for like 5 minutes." Now, I know that I don't have a great concept of time. Thankfully, there's a little timer that goes by while I record the show that I don't pay attention to a lot. But I do know that 5 minutes of my time is equal to 20 minutes of story time. I know that because every time I've thought that, whew, that was only 5 minutes, it's been a minimum of 20 to an hour. So, cool. I don't know. Maybe we've been here for an hour. Maybe we've been here for 20 minutes. All I know is Mike was like, "Hey, so you said you were going on a date or something? So how was that date?" Kayla, close your ears. Like, one, you don't know. I'm not going to say crazy stuff. You know that I've never said anything even remotely dirty or naked to you. Like, that's not going to happen. You're Mike, my born-again Christian friend. Like, no. But Kayla doesn't know me at all. Like, she doesn't watch my show. She doesn't listen to the podcast. But she knows just enough to know that I'm a person and I'm fun, I think. But I don't know if she knows that. "Hey, Mike, well, what did you just know that I was going to go to the movies?" All right, so first I signed up for Plenty of Fish. And then I just went through this, like, again, first Gandalf showed up with this ring, you see? And he was like, you want to have an adventure?" And I'm like, "I don't know, Gandalf." And he's like, "Come on, Mr. Carey, like, you want to have it?" Like, "No, Mr. Black, ah." And it's like, all right, fine. Let's take something to Mordor. Like, I've got a whole lot, like, I've got so many things that I've just taken to all different kinds of Mordors over here. And it's like, fine, one more Mordor is okay, all right? Like, I've got podcasts, I've got a new show, I've got a job, and, even just trying to, like, talk to my friends that I just don't talk to enough on Facebook, no less, not even in real life. Like, I'm working on that as a thing. Like, one more Mordor ring. And that is, hey, everybody else is plenty of fishing. What's wrong with you? What is wrong with me? I need people. People who need people are the craziest people. So let's sign up and see what happens. And I've told this story on the podcast, but I know people don't cross pollinate yet. I get it open. I get the thing. I sign up. It's on the computer or on the phone. I don't remember which. I think it was on the phone. And finally, here's my picture that I just took of myself because I got a haircut. And this is what I'm like, I guess, in word form. What's your idea of a fun first date? Oh, snaps. I don't know. Hey, Tara. Hey, remember how you broke up with me and then you signed up for Plenty of Fish? Did you fill out the date part? You did? Okay, cool. Then I'll do that too. Thanks. So I filled that out and it's just like, well, I guess I guess I'd like to like just kind of hang out in a park, like catfish style, except with a real person, and then hopefully we'll just see things, and that will spark some stories and conversations. And if you're into stories and conversations, that's what you're in for. And if you're not, you're gonna have a terrible time. Come have a terrible time in the park with me. Come on. It'll be crazy. You'll hear all the words. And even if I don't think you know the words or understand my language that well, I'm still gonna use them. Oh, you're French? Awesome. How do you feel about double negatives? Constantly. Constantly never not using double negatives. What? Always? But yes, she's also quite linguistic and well read and super educated. And this is my second Jurassic Park shirt in as many episodes. And yeah, when you start out, when somebody shows up on a date with a Tyrannosaurus Rex necklace, like huge and crazy and awesome, it's just like, how long? How long am I supposed to wait? I know we're supposed to like have conversations and be people and whatever. How long do I have to wait before I say dinosaurs? Why? Explain. Where? What? Who put this on you, or did you put it on yourself? And I need an honest answer, or else I'm out of here. Like this might be a deal breaker for me right now. I don't even know. Like maybe we're just gonna be super good friends, or you have a dinosaur necklace, and we're gonna be the bestest friends forever. And then it was like, oh no, like I saw this, and I needed to have it because of the dinosaur. What? Like yes. All right, let's go high five all day. Let's go high five all day. Let's say that and get hamburgers. And whatever. So then we went for magical hamburgers that were crazy and amazing in a place that time forgot. Again, dinosaurs and Cadillacs. Like it was a drive-in diner dinosaur. It was a drive-in dinosaur from the past. The skeleton was there. You drive in the roof, and it's like I only remember that from being a kid, and I'm still just barely old enough to remember that from being a kid. And again, like you search and you find, but sometimes if you don't you don't try too hard, you just try to look for happiness. And I can see by the microphone creeping down into both of the cameras that the show is definitely over time now. But stories are where everything starts and ends for me. And just like with this show, I started with stories and I'm ending with the word stories. If you make things into a story, then they become a thing. If you make it a story about something sad, regardless of all the fun things that are happening, then it becomes a sad story. But if you have something sad and you extrapolate that into like, here's all the fun stuff that came out of that, then you have a bunch of fun stories. One of my super fun favorite stories to tell is well, everything has a title in my head. That means there's a title coming. If I don't know what's wrong with me, but the title is the girl who disappeared. Like the girl who disappeared. What? That sounds like the saddest story ever. Is it a sad story? Not anymore. Even at the time, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. Maybe I'm a robot and I'm broken. But it was literally like, hey, there's this friend of ours. You should like go out with her or something. I think you guys will hit it off. Okay, you know what? Yeah, let's give that a try. So we go out, and honestly, do not remember what we did at all. Like it was 1,000 years ago. Nothing super fun or interesting. Maybe we watched a movie. Maybe we hung out. Actually, that's what it was. We hung out and played with my cat. Like in no innuendo terms whatsoever. Hey, she likes cats. You have a cat. Let the cat do all the work. I don't. I don't think this is going to work. I have very low expectations for myself and this cat at this point. And then yeah, we hung out, and it was like cool. So here are some of my stories. What about you? Okay, yeah, I already know those stories. Those are the stories of the people that set us up. I got nothing, so this is all right. That's cool. Try one more time, more relaxed setting with some people around. Again, maybe we'd at least be friends. I don't care. No big deal. I just met you. And that one, same deal. Like half decent time. Nobody got murdered. Nobody got into any fights. Nothing wrong, but who cares? No big deal. And then gone. Hey Melissa, where's your friend? She hasn't responded to any of the ways you can correspond to people, and her roommate's like, I don't know, in that way where you say things when you're lying because you know exactly where that person is. Why am I getting what's happening? And it's just like, oh yeah, that's a thing she does. What is the thing she does? Oh, she disappears. That's what magicians do. That's what magicians do. What do you mean? Oh, if instead of like saying like I'm not into this or cool, let's just be friends, she just disappears and goes away to who knows where for, maybe a week, maybe a few days. I won't even hear from her. So she's alive though, right? Like I just this person in the world that I met, they're not dead somewhere, and I shouldn't be horribly horrified or concerned. Like, oh no, 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 she's definitely alive somewhere. Like, okay, cool. So now this can be the story of the girl who just randomly disappeared instead of saying goodbye, and I'm fine with that. Like, this is kind of funny. No big deal. I don't sit around dwelling. I don't remember her name. I can almost maybe muster a bit of a picture in my head, but that's about it. Like, you don't need to hold on to the oh, she just disappeared. I'm not good enough. I'm a piece of dirt in a bag of dirt. Like, no. Like a bunch of weird stuff happened. Talk about it. Have fun with it. Everything is a story. Everything is up for your own interpretation. We're all lying to ourselves anyway. Might as well make it fun. Stop telling me about your laundry on Facebook. I don't care. Unless you can add a punchline, I don't care that you're doing your laundry today. I just don't. I don't. Please make it funny, and then I will love your laundry story. I love it. I promise. I promise. Outside of all of that, of course, be good and be careful. And I don't know. Have a good morning. Have a good morning.
Hey, click on my butt or Ripley's butt to subscribe. Click on my butt. Click on my butt. Click on my butt.